So here we are, Valentine's Day. And if you notice that we did two scripture readings today, the reason for that, I'm just going to put my water right here, is because we are celebrating a day of love, but we're also entering into a time where we're in preparation. We are in preparation for what is to come on the Jesus journey. So we want to talk about how the two blend together. Love defined. What is love? As Martin Luther King Jr. said, love is the only force that can transform an enemy into a friend. I love that quote. I find it very inspiring in a world where we can get caught up in all of that is going on that would certainly speak to the contrary. However, what we do see is what you experienced when you were looking at the video clip from New Orleans. That is a video clip of love and celebration. And we all know that New Orleans has suffered greatly over the years to catastrophes, most weather-related, racial injustices, a war of wars that are going on within the community of people. But wait, we see in the faces of those that were speaking about the house parade, the love and excitement. Love is alive. It truly is. Today is Valentine's Day. Today is a day of great pressure for a lot of people, especially the guys, right? A lot of pressure out there. And it's really unfortunate that it has to be that way, because if we really explore what love is with us every day. Every day we have an opportunity to share love. It's a superpower. We're all born with it. It is so powerful that it can move mountains, as Celine Dion shares with us in her big hit song, Love Can Move Mountains. It is true, and we were going to speak about a mountain moment when we touch upon the transfiguration of Jesus up on the mountain. Love can affect us in profound ways. To love is to be loved. For the greatest love of all is the love we have within ourselves, the power to love ourselves. And when we've harnessed that power, we can use that power to love others. That love within us is the light of Christ. It's the love of Christ that we were divinely born with and called to share with the world. It doesn't often come in a package with 12 long-stemmed red roses, or chocolates, or the card that professes the love that you have in your heart. However, I am a romantic. With a name like Truelove, I think it was part of my destiny. I love people, I love love, I love romance, but I also love the love story that is in the Bible that speaks about Jesus' love for people. That is what love is. Now, to get into why Valentine's Day has come to be, we're going to talk about a man, Saint Valentine. So Saint Valentine, he was, I would say, a bit of a rebel. The Roman emperor did not want him doing what he was doing. He was performing Christian weddings. The emperor was very, very nervous about that. Did not want that happening. Forbid him from doing it. But he did it anyway because he followed the convictions in his heart. For that, he was jailed and then later was put to death for doing something that went against someone else's beliefs or wants. Have we ever done that? Have we ever gone against someone's direction because we knew what we were doing would be the most loving thing to do. I have done that. I've done that. The price for love can be high as well, right? We have to make a choice on how we're going to spend this gift of gold in our hearts with others. Make good choices. But if you always make your choices feeling like you're contributing to the benefit and the health, the well-being, and the heart of another human soul, then how can you go wrong with that? Even if other people don't feel it's the right thing to do. As long as we aren't making decisions quickly, we discern our decisions. And if it feels good and we feel love in our hearts through it, then a lot of times we'll move forward with that. Thankfully, we don't live in that age that we're going to be beheaded like St. Valentine. So today marks the day that we celebrate and acknowledge a man that lived. He lived 1,700 years ago. And being a romantic himself, I'm surmising, he wanted to see people happy. He wanted to see people happy and loved, against the chagrin of the Roman Emperor Claudius. But we still today celebrate St. Valentine's Day. And what originated was a feast day where he was recognized and acknowledged for the love that he shared with the world. We celebrate Valentine's Day and Transfiguration Sunday both as well. I was very excited about that because I feel, although Transfiguration is an appearance, transformation happens within us. But often when we come from a place of love, when we're truly in love, remember that first encounter with someone that you fall in love with. People say you're absolutely glowing. Or when you're carrying a child. Oh, she's glowing. That glowing is the love seeping out. When Jesus transfigured and became a glowing light, what I see is that the love within him is exuding out. He knows what's going to happen. He knows what's to come. He doesn't want to frighten his disciples, although they were quite frightened. I would be too, actually. But he wanted them to be aware of the love and to not speak of him, of that situation, until after he had come back, the Son of Man had arisen. The same light that envelops us is when we are surrounded by great friends, sharing great times with them. This is the hardest part about the chapter that we're experiencing now. That being said, with all our technology and the power of the energy of love, we are making strides in connecting. We are doing things differently. We are going outside the box. We are taking risks, as Jesus took a risk, transfiguring on the mountain. Can you imagine if you were down below that mountain, you would probably have thought there was a massive fire up there. It would have been very frightening. But taking risks are important. They are important to live a true life, as long as we're taking those risks thoughtfully, in love and in life. Every time we open our heart to another human soul, we are taking a risk in relational love, with good intent, with the unknowns of what will come. But we do it anyway. We do it anyway. Being as it is Valentine's Day, romantic love may be top of mind for many people, which is wonderful. But there is so much more to love than what meets the romantic's eye. And yes, I love a good love story, and I am a romantic at heart. But I think of two particular love stories that you're probably familiar with. The first one is The Notebook. The movie The Notebook. Can watch that movie over and over and over again. The message of love that resonates in that movie, the message, the sensation is remarkable when you're watching it. It's like you were right there with them. that long love of many ups and downs, mountain and valley moments, things that experience in the true life of loving someone entirely. As in our scripture today, love is patient, love is kind. Those things are so critical to a loving, healthy relationship. We have to make a choice. And these things that we are experiencing in life right now inspires us to reach out, to make amends, to contact someone we haven't spoken to in a very long time. Perhaps we had had a bit of a falling out or didn't quite agree on someone. In romantic love and relational love, the instructions are found within Corinthians. Corinthians, my favorite part of Scripture in the Bible. The Bible is the greatest love story ever written. The story of how love transforms us. The story of how love and the Jesus story spread across the land and still continues to spread today. People are seeking that love more than ever in history. In the last 100 years, we've experienced so much. And now to be living in the center of a lot of uncertainty. The Jesus story is alive and well. We see it in the random acts of kindness, as Shelley shared today. That angel that came, that person that reached out with love. Absolutely incredible. Now, to say that love is a many splendor thing would be probably a bit of a stretch, because love can be a lot of work. But it is worth it. It is so worth it. I've experienced personally times in my life where I made commitment, the forever commitment. When I married my first husband, and we had 2 children together, we shared vows in marriage to love one another forever, to forgive. That marriage, unfortunately, dissolved. But it didn't dissolve away in anger. And it didn't dissolve away in bitter feelings. It was a choice to dissolve that marriage and still keep the commitments that we made to one another, except for death do us part. However, that being said, when one of us leaves, the other will feel the loss because we chose love. We chose to care about one another. We made a conscious decision. Now, that isn't everybody's love story when it comes to the end of a sacred commitment of marriage. But we can try to work through the hurtful and be transformed or transfigured ourselves in order to make peace and have love in our hearts for another human soul. There's so much we can say about love and its transfiguring power. But in this moment, on this day, to know that we are loved by this great being of energy, our Creator, and that is within us to share, is the greatest gift of all. It can transfigure us and transform the world. That is the good news that we celebrate here today. So love one another for love's sake. Seek for the love and light in this world. And know that you are loved, greatly loved. May these words comfort you and fill your hearts.